Welcome into the latest with Devin Dobek and John Swenton, filling in for Brennan McLaughlin. Very excited to be here with you, and after a pretty active week of sports, a lot went down, so let's hop right into it. Obviously, one of the biggest headlines, Antonio Brown, cut from the New England Patriots after just one game, just over a week with the team. Very shocking move. He said he's stepping away from football, but I wouldn't be surprised if he made a return. John, what do you think about this case?
I know a lot of people are interested in him coming back to football, but I don't know if he wants to come back to it. He's trying to sue the Patriots for $10 million in his contract. That should be interesting. Teams usually don't like it when you try and sue them, so we'll see.
Yeah, a lot happened with Antonio Brown, of course, but the thing that forced the Patriots to cut him was the text messages he sent to the person that accused him of rape. That was the one that's pushed him over the edge. But without him, the Patriots still looked absolutely unbelievable against the New York Jets. I was fortunate enough to be there. They won 30-14, and the defense did not allow a touchdown. It was just special teams with the muff punt by Ofshevsky, I believe, and the pick six by Jamal Adams. But what did you like about this game, John? A lot went down, a lot happened.
Well, actually, I'd like to start with what I didn't like, and I didn't like seeing the backup quarterback for the Pats. I think it's Stidham, Jared Stidham, and he threw a pick early on when he came in, and you don't like to see stuff like that, especially with a rookie like that. But overall, I think he'll do pretty good further on. Yeah. And Jamal Adams is just a beast in general, and so you can't.
Tom Brady didn't want to come out of that game at all, and then Stidham completed one pass and then threw a pick six to the All-Pro safety. But the offense looked absolutely great. Josh Gordon with a huge one-handed catch inside the 5. He looked great. He had about 5 catches. Philip Dorsett also looked great, and then you can't forget about Philip Dorsett. And then Jamie Collins on the defensive side, a few sacks. He looked really good, as well as the rest of the defense. What do you think about the defense for the Patriots that week, John?
I think the defense always looks pretty good now. I mean, you love to talk about the defense all the time. At the start, I didn't think they were looking too good, but obviously they've pulled it together. But speaking of Jamie Collins, I feel a lot of issues with him because the reasons he left the first time might be some issues coming back with his contract. But he's playing pretty good so far.
I think that when we find out, it's going to be a little shocking because, yes, he did leave for Cleveland due to a money issue, but he's back in New England now. Jamie Collins alongside Dante Hightower in the linebacker position, Landon Roberts, and then that secondary obviously have been very good. Jason McCourty, Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung, and Stephon Gilmore have all looked really good for the team, as well as that defensive line with Michael Bennett being the big standout guy, getting a few sacks for the team. He's looked really hot. So what do they need to carry on into this week with a big match against the other 3-0 in the division with Buffalo?
I think the big part is going to be the Patriots' run game. I mean, they have a lot of good running backs, but there's not that much production. They need to just even it out a little bit more. I think so.
Yeah, Sony Michel didn't get as many looks as I would have liked. Obviously, he's on my fantasy team, but I think he only had about 6 carries, had a touchdown, but that was about it. He was awful quiet. But I think in order for the Patriots to top Buffalo, they're going to have to be very strong in the run game. The Buffalo pass game hasn't been very good, but Josh Allen and Frank Gore are going to lead that Buffalo offense. What do you think? What do you think about Josh Allen?
Well, actually, I think it's pretty interesting to find out that one of the best rushing seasons by a quarterback has been from Josh Allen last year in his rookie season. He had some of the, the most rushing yards or something like that. I think that's pretty insane because you don't think of him as the type of guy like that. You usually think of his cannon for an arm.
Who would you think of in regards to Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson? Which one of those two would you like and why?
I would have to take Lamar Jackson just because of his productivity. Yeah. I think that Josh Allen, even though they are 3-0, I don't think the Bills are the better team at all, but with the system and everything, I would have to go with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Buffalo 3-0 in the, I forget what it's called, the East
AFC
Division?
East.
AFC East? I want to say American League East. The Red Sox are obviously terrible, so. But I think we're going to have a great matchup coming up in Buffalo, big game, 3-0 versus 3-0. And that, you never know, if Buffalo knocks off the Pats, it could be an interesting season the rest of the way. But in Brady we trust, and we'll see how far that goes. But another big NFL headline, Melvin Gordon ending his holdout. He reported to Chargers facility this morning. He will not be eligible to play this week, but he will be back for Week 5. Fantasy owners like myself very happy. What do you think this means for Austin Eckler, John?
I think his production is going to go down a lot, even though he's been killing it out there. But I think that it's going to be Melvin taking most of the snaps now.
Yeah,
as it was before.
He looked very good last year. I think he was top 5 running back last year. Obviously wanted a little more money like Le'Veon Bell, but I think he's a football guy, and that's why he's coming back after 4 weeks. So he'll join the team, and we'll see if he plays an impact for the Chargers. I'm very excited to see how that plays out. And then Hollywood Brown, your guy, I know you want to talk about him, so why don't you go right ahead.
Good guy out of Oklahoma, one of Lamar Jackson's biggest weapons, and I think he would probably be the fastest player in the NFL right now if he decided to run the 40. But he chose not to. Respectful move.
Do you think he's a legit wide receiver? Do you think he will one day be a top 10, top 20 receiver in the NFL?
It's tough to say. I mean, last year with Tyreek Hill blowing it up with like speed wide receivers like himself, he definitely could, but I don't know if Lamar Jackson has that accurate of an arm to make it happen.
Yeah, you never know. Lamar is a very much a rushing quarterback, but he can throw the ball. He's hot and cold. He looked good against the Chiefs. They only lost by 5 to the Chiefs.
He's playing like an MVP this year.
Yeah, the Ravens are a team to look out for, and I don't think they play the Patriots this year, but the Chiefs do. So by the transitive property, if the Patriots beat the Chiefs, then hopefully we're better than the Ravens come playoff time. Another one of your big guys, Gardner Minshew II. He had a great game against the Titans. They won 20-7, Thursday Night Football, primetime lights. What did you see out of Gardner that you really liked, John?
He just looks so good in general. Like, sounds weird to say, but his passing ability is insane, and with a Jags offense that's pretty lackluster, he looks pretty good in it.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars look really good. They're 1-2 now. We'll see if they bounce back on the back of Minshew, with Nick Foles going down. And then I think probably the biggest highlight of the NFL thus far has been Dalvin Cook, 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 weeks. He has looked hot. What have you liked about Dalvin? Do you think he will continue? Do you think injury will get in the way along the road? What do you think, John?
It really sucks to say, but Dalvin Cook battles so many different injuries that I think injuries will eventually get to him like they have so often for him. But he's just so fast, so elusive. He's playing so good this year.
Yeah, he tore it up at Florida State, now he's tearing it up in Minnesota. And if Minnesota can keep him, they might have a very good chance to go for a little playoff run. We'll see if they can get another Minnesota miracle. So I guess we can talk about the MLB a little bit. I'm a little depressed to talk about it with the Red Sox not being in it. The New York Yankees are a very strong team along with the Houston Astros, LA Dodgers. John, do you have a World Series prediction? A very early World Series prediction. Who's it gonna be? And
I think I'm gonna have to go. The Yankees are gonna win it all this year. I mean, it sucks to say, but they're just too good.
In the National League, what do you see?
I would have to say the Dodgers too, or probably.
Yeah, the Dodgers, very strong team. They're looking to get back to their 3rd straight World Series championship. They've lost the last 2, unfortunately, for them, not for us. But I don't think I'm going to have to disagree with you on the Yankees, only because Domingo Germán is out for the season. He was their ace. And I like the Houston Astros lineup. I really think that they're going to be able to go deep with Springer, Correa, Altuve, Bregman, all those guys I think will carry them. And I think I agree with you in that the LA Dodgers will be there. But I think you got to look out for the Nationals a little bit. They're a little powerhouse team. The Brewers, not so much with the loss of Christian Yelich, but they're also a strong team. You never know, they're 13-2 in the last 15, and that's since Yelich got hurt. So I think we're going to be in for a very good MLB postseason. St. Louis also in the National League. But my World Series prediction is a rematch of the 2018 with the 2017 with the Astros and the Dodgers.
Now, who are your early MVP predictions for the MLB this year?
Early, well, I'd love to go JBJ, but that's not a very popular opinion. If I'm picking an MVP, it's got to be someone like Cody Bellinger out of LA. Maybe Mike Trout, always a very worthy candidate. But other than that, I'm not sure with the loss of Christian Yelich. He would have been mine, but he's been hurt lately. But yeah, so I guess if I had to pick one, probably Cody Bellinger. If I had to pick, do you have a?
I would probably say Mike Trout over everyone else. I mean, he's just playing like the best player in baseball.
Yeah.
But for NL MVP, definitely Cody Bellinger with Christian Yelich going out like that.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger and then Mike Trout. I like those two as my MVP candidates. So let's get back into high school football. Spartans coming off a tough loss to Amherst, 12-9. Very neutral game. Amherst broke off a few big plays, including a 60-yard touchdown run at the end of the 3rd quarter. Spartans fell to Amherst and fell to 1-1. Big match against Westfield this week, number 4. This is the power rankings right here. So obviously we have Central, Minnechaug, Wacona, Westfield, Chicopee Comp, who's ranked a little high for my liking. Northampton, South Hadley, Holyoke, Hoosick Valley, Amherst, West Springfield, the Spartans, Long Meadow, Agawam, and Belchertown are your top 15. So I've had a prediction from Bean that they're going to top Westfield by 20. John, how you feeling about that one?
Well, I
What's
don't,
your
I don't know
confidence?
about that one, but I hate to say it, Bean was looking pretty good at earlier in the year, and I mean not earlier in the year, earlier in the game, but towards the end of the game, unfortunately, he threw a pick, but
Yeah,
it cost them the drive
on
and
that final
most likely
drive.
the game.
But they had a bunch of good plays. Casey Maloney with the connection from Bean over down by the end zone. That was a play of the week in some people's eyes. John Oliver got a lot of great touches on the ball. Casey Maloney was holding his ground at corner against a very good wide receiver. But anyone else that stood out to you, who do you think is going to need to play well this week in order for the Spartans to get a win?
I think Alex Joyce will have to play pretty well as he usually does with his run game and just the run game in general with John Oliver there too. Casey gets a few snaps and there's Adam McCarthy also.
Yeah, I think they'll get a few great looks out of Joyce. I think they need to get him the ball in order to win this football game against Westfield. Very excited to see how it goes. Brennan and I will be on the call with Rob Greco and John Swinton down on the field level. But who on the line do you think needs to play their best? Because the line was a little weak on the offensive side. That line with Wes Maurer, Lucas Ferguson, Christian Thomas, all those guys. I think that they're a very good offensive line, but they need to hold their ground. And I think once Bean has a little protection, he's going to be able to roll out of the pocket and complete those passes that he needs. Anything else looking forward to Westfield? Do you have a game prediction for us?
I'm not sure about that, but I think for the line, I think Wes Maurer is going to have to step into a big leadership role with a lot of underclassmen on the line also. So it should be interesting to see how he pulls them together.
I'm going to have to take Westfield here, as much as I hate to say it. Number 4 in the power rankings. Apparently, I've heard that their quarterback's going through a few things, but they have a very, very good running back, very talented. I'm going to take the Bombers 22-8 or 22-7 because CJ is the leg. So, John, do you have a prediction for this game?
From what I've heard, I've also heard that the Westfield quarterback does not have the best arm, but I think that they're still going to take the game with how good their running back is.
So, score prediction at all?
I would say they get 2 touchdowns and probably 16-7 final score.
I like it. So moving on, we'll get into boys soccer. They've looked extremely hot. I know you wanted to touch on them. They're 4-3, number 5 in Western Mass. Who stood out to you thus far?
I think Robbie Michalski is looking pretty good as one of the only seniors on the team, and actually just the seniors in general with Tyler Smith helping out a lot.
Yep. Kyle Richards, all those guys putting in good minutes for the team. They've looked good. They're rolling. They had 4 wins all last year. They got 4 thus far. They're above 500. Do you see them making the playoffs and making a run or no?
I think they will make a run just because of how good their goaltenders are with
Colin
Walczak, Aiden Voigt. They're looking pretty good all year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that plays out for them. And then on the ladies' side, the ladies are on a 3-game win streak, topping Longmeadow, Belchertown, and someone else. I apologize to the ladies. Northampton. So East Longmeadow 5 in the power rankings. This is a little bit late. They're actually 3-3-1. Minnechaug topped Westfield 1-0. That was a big game. Westfield fell to 3. They obviously have the Super 7 Chandler Podolsky, or I'm sorry if I butchered that last name. I only know that because Soph told me. But they've looked good. The captains, obviously the 5 of them right here, Gianna, Caitlin, Beanie, Grace, and Nina have been leading that team. A lot of senior leadership. Blair Dumas with the ACL injury, but she's been great on the sidelines. They've all looked good as a team. Emma Catanzarides looked really good. Any girls standouts to you? I mean, Beanie Mazza with the goals, but anyone else? Any specific players? At
the last game I went to see, Ailey Weiss had an absolute nip on the goalie. And that was looking really good.
Yeah, they looked really good in the past 3. Kirsten Dienne had a big goal. They've all been putting in great work. Grace Trito on defense has looked really good. I'm excited to see if they can keep the ball rolling and pick up a few more wins here. They've moved their way up in the power rankings, and we're excited to see how the rest of the season plays out for them. But that pretty much wraps up our show. Very excited to be with you today. Devin Dobeck alongside John Swanton. This has been The Latest, and we'll see you next time.